Your baby just grabbed your leg again. You were only walking to the kitchen. They cried like you were leaving forever. And here is the strange part. There is a Japanese word for exactly what your baby is feeling right now. Most parents feel two things at once in that moment: a little love and a little worry. You wonder if holding them so much is making them clingy. You wonder if you are quietly spoiling your own child. That worry is everywhere. Friends tell you to put the baby down more. Relatives warn that you are creating a habit. Everyone seems sure that too much closeness now will create a needy child later. But what if all of that advice has it completely backwards? What if the clinging is not a problem to fix at all? What if it is one of the healthiest things your baby can do? There is a country that has understood this for generations. In Japan, there is a single word for this sweet, trusting need to hold on. That word is amai, and once you understand it, you will never see clinging the same way. Amai is hard to translate into English, and that is exactly why it matters. English does not really have a word for the feeling, so most parents never had a name for what their baby was doing. The person who first gave this feeling a name was a Japanese psychiatrist named Takeo Doi. Back in the 1950s, he traveled to America to study, and something there quietly shocked him and stayed with him for years. He noticed that Americans praised being independent above almost everything else. Needing other people was quietly seen as a weakness. Leaning on someone was something you were supposed to grow out of, not something you were allowed to enjoy. Back home in Japan, things felt different. There, leaning on the people who love you was normal and even beautiful. Depending on someone was not shameful. It was one of the warmest parts of being close. Doi realized his whole culture had a word for this, and the West did not. Amai is the sweet feeling of trusting someone so completely that you feel safe leaning on them and letting them take care of you. And here is the beautiful part. The purest example of amai in the entire world is a baby with its parent. That grab at your leg is amai in its most honest and original form. When your baby clings, they are not trying to control you or manipulate you. They are telling you something simple and pure. They are saying that you are their safe place and they trust you with everything. Think about what that really means. Out of every person in the entire world, your baby has chosen you. Your arms are the one place where fear disappears and the whole scary world suddenly feels calm again. So the fear about spoiling starts to fall apart. A baby who clings is not becoming weak or needy. They are doing something brave. They are learning to trust another human being for the very first time. And this trust is not just a feeling. It is happening deep inside your baby's growing brain. Every time you answer their need to be close, you are shaping how their brain will handle stress for life. This is where old Japanese wisdom and modern Western science suddenly meet in the middle. Because decades after Doi, researchers studying babies discovered the very same truth he had felt. They simply gave it a different name. They called it attachment. A British doctor named John Bowlby spent his whole life studying the deep bond between babies and the people who care for them. And what he discovered quietly changed parenting forever. Bowlby found that babies are actually built to seek closeness. It is not a bad habit, it is survival. A tiny human cannot protect itself, so staying near a loving adult is how nature keeps it safe. So when your baby cries the second you walk away, that is not manipulation. That is millions of years of instinct switching on. Their whole body is saying, stay close because you are my safety. Bowlby had a name for the parent in all of this. He called you the secure base. You are the safe home your baby returns to whenever the world feels too big or too frightening. And here is the part almost nobody expects. The babies who are allowed to cling the most are the ones who grow up to explore the most. Safety at home is what creates the courage to leave it. Picture a baby at a playground. The secure one runs off to play, then glances back to check that you are still there. Your presence is the invisible rope that lets them go further and feel brave. Take that safety away, and the opposite happens. A baby who is not sure you will be there cannot relax enough to explore. They spend their energy worrying instead of playing and learning about the world. So when you welcome the clinging instead of fighting it, you are not spoiling anything. You are quietly building a foundation. You are telling your baby the world is safe and you will always come back. Now let us talk about that word spoiling, because it causes so much guilt. You truly cannot spoil a baby by loving them too much. Meeting a young baby's needs does not create weakness. It creates trust. A baby cannot be taught a lesson by being left to cry. Their brain is far too young for that. All they learn in those moments is whether the world answers them or leaves them completely alone. And that answer becomes a belief they carry for the rest of their life. A baby who is answered again and again grows into a person who believes deep down that they are worthy of love. A researcher named Mary Ainsworth studied this closely. She found the secret was not doing everything perfectly. It was simply being warm and answering your baby often enough that they learn you can be counted on. That should take a huge weight off your shoulders. You do not have to be a perfect parent. You just have to be a present one, showing up warmly enough that your baby feels safe leaning on you. This is exactly what Amai understood all along. Japanese parents were never taught to fear closeness. They saw a child leaning on them as natural, as something to gently welcome rather than something to push away. And there is something even deeper hidden inside Amai. It is the quiet belief that you are allowed to need someone. That being cared for is not shameful. That leaning on love is one of life's sweetest gifts. And the baby who learns this early carries it forever. They grow into someone who can ask for help without shame. Someone who can be close to others without fear. Someone who knows how to both give and receive love. So the real question is not how do I stop my baby from clinging? The better question is how do I answer this need in a way that makes our bond even stronger? Let us look at how. The first thing is simple. When your baby reaches for you, try to answer instead of resisting. You do not need to drop everything every time. You just need them to feel that their reaching usually brings you closer. Second, talk to them softly through the moment. Babies do not understand every word, but they feel your calm voice. A gentle tone tells them that they are safe and that you understand what they are feeling right now. Third, be careful with goodbyes. Sneaking away when your baby is not looking feels easier, but it quietly teaches them to watch you nervously. A short, warm goodbye actually helps them trust that leaving is safe. Fourth, make your returns count. The way you come back matters even more than the way you leave. A warm, happy reunion teaches your baby a powerful lesson. People who leave you can also come back to you. Fifth, let your baby set the pace. Some days they will happily play alone. Other days they will need to be glued to you. Both are normal. Following their changing need is exactly what builds their trust in you. And you do not have to give endlessly to do this well. Amai is not about losing yourself. A parent who is rested and calm gives far better comfort than one who is exhausted and quietly resentful. It also helps to remember that clinging comes in waves. A new place, a new tooth, or a big change can suddenly make your baby need you more. These waves are normal and they always pass in time. And here is something worth holding on to on the hard days. This season of being needed so intensely is shorter than it feels. One day, those little arms will reach for you far less than they do right now. So on the nights when you feel touched out and tired, try to remember what that clinging really is. It is not a burden your baby is placing on you. It is the highest trust they can offer. This is the heart of Amai. It sees dependence not as a weakness to fix, but as love in its most honest shape. A baby leaning on you is love with no walls and no conditions at all. For too long, many parents were told that comfort creates weakness, that holding too much creates a clingy child. Amai gently flips that fear on its head. Comfort is not what makes a child weak, it is what makes them strong. A child who was met with warmth becomes surprisingly independent later. Not because you pushed them away, but because you never did. They walk into the world already sure that love will always be waiting behind them. So the next time your baby grabs your leg and cries as you walk away, you can smile instead of worrying. You now know the truth. That grip is not a problem. That grip is a bond forming. In that small, desperate hold, your baby is saying the most human thing of all. They are telling you that you make them feel safe and they want you near. There is no sweeter message a child can ever send. And this bond is not only shaping your baby, it is quietly changing you too. Being someone's whole world is heavy, but it is also one of the deepest and most meaningful things a person can ever be.